Hello everyone, my name is Valeria Isolet Velázquez Domínguez, and today I'm going to talk about intercultural communication using a case study between Mexico and Japan in a business context. This topic is very interesting because when two countries or cultures work together, some things we find great opportunities, but also big misunderstandings. Okay, in this case, I imagined a Mexican company that calls name is Tierra Viva that sells organic food. They start working with a Japanese company called is Green Soul. The goal is to export Mexican healthy products to Japan and sell them in local markets. First meeting takes place in Tokyo, and that's when cultural challenge begin. Even if we are very different, there are also similarities between both cultures. For example, in Mexico and Japan, people value teamwork, respect, and trust, but believe that good relationships are the base of good business. So this helps communication a lot. Here comes the difference. Mexicans are usually very expressive, we'll smile, we use gestures, and we talk a lot. Japan's people, on the other hand, are more quiet, calm, and formal. During the meeting, Valeria, the marketing manager, told the Japanese were not interested because they didn't ask many questions. But in Japan, silence means respect and thinking careful, not disinterest. So, both sides misunderstood each other. To solve this, Valeria learned about high context communication, which means people communicate through the context, gestures, and silence. So, in the next meeting, she spoke more slowly, listened more, and respect pauses. She also arrived on time and avoid jokes that could sound informal. These small actions made a big difference. The Japan's team appreciated her effort. Here are some examples of how cultural variance can appear. In meetings, silence is not a problem. It is a signal of respect. In negotiation, don't push for quick answers. In teamwork, about saying you are wrong, instead say maybe we can try another idea. And these are simple but powerful strategies to avoid conflicts. My reflection is, intercultural communication helps you become more empathic and respectful. When we understand other cultures, we create stronger connections and better results. This case between Mexico and Japan shows that success in business is not only about money or ideas, it's about people, respect, and understanding. In conclusion, intercultural communication is one of the most important skills for global business today. Throughout this session, I learned that every culture has its own way to express ideas, emotions, and respect. For example, some countries are more direct, like the United States or Mexico, with others, like Japan, prefer a more silent and indirect way of communication. This difference can easily create misunderstandings, but they also give us the chance to learn and grow. By studying topics like high and low context, individualism, and collectivism, are barriers such as stereotypes or heteronorming. By studying topics like high and low context, individualism, and collectivism are barriers such as stereotypes or heterocentrics. I understood that communication is not only about words, it's about values, traditions, and how we see the world. When we develop empathy and respect for other people's cultures, we can build stronger and more human connections. This case between Mexico and Japan shows that intercultural communication is not a problem to fix, but a bridge to building understanding, trust, and success in any professional context.